Do you, as a citizen of Nigeria, have the right to protest or to demonstrate?
We have the right to association and the right to protest. Yes, we have how do I put it? We have the right to protest. But basically, most of protests that I know about always come from organized labor, trade unions. In fact, protest is under what we call industrial action. Industrial action. Because basically, where would citizens just gather together and say, we want to go and do, we no go blue, there must be an association that is coming together, calling on its members. I would say, okay, we need to protest. A lot of associations, foundations, physically, as citizens, we have the right to protest, especially when it becomes an association and the objectives of the association is going to vary again by policies which you feel you are inconvenienced acts. You have the right to speak, you have the right to talk, you have the right to protest, to express your grievance in an appropriate manner. You have seen protests gone haywire, that even the protesters are the one that loot shops. That is not protests. Looting of shops, stealing from people, breaking of people's windscreen and windshield, you know, deflating people's cars, throwing up bonfires up and down. Those are criminal activities. That is rioting. And it's a criminal offense under the criminal code and the penal code.
I like what you just mentioned now. Can you dispute, can you separate the difference between riots and protests? When does it become, the riots already?
Protest is simple. Protest is just expressing your grievance in the most appropriate way to the government. You call it solemn assembly. You are meeting at the government house. And all you are doing, you can sing union song to charge up your morale. And when you have someone that will come and address you from the government, we talk. And the next thing we do is, okay, you select some committees or some members, key members, principal members. Let us have an interface and let us discuss about this. While the protesters will do what? You sit down and you calm down and wait for the resolution of the issues amicably. That is what I know about protests. Not when protesters are shouting, they are blocking the road, they are breaking windscreen. That is rioting. When you are protesting and you are infringing on the rights of a private individual or causing a nuisance in a public place or destroying properties, then I can tell you that is rioting. Such people are meant to be arrested. And also when there is a riot all the world over, the police and law enforcement, they are meant to ensure that the peace is kept. It is peaceful and guard against anything that can turn to riot. And I think that is the standard all over the world. And yes, most of the time, protests do turn to riots. It's not peculiar to Nigeria, even in advanced countries. Protests do turn to riots. Protests do turn to commission of some other crimes.
Thank you very much. So if you are involved in a protest now, not a riot, and then the police come, they round all of you up and you get arrested, what should you do?
I have a process to call a lawyer. And most of the time, I don't think protesters get arrested unless if they have committed the wrong. I'll give you an example. I participated in a protest against the arrest of a lawyer by EFCC. And, EFCC tried so much, the officers, they tried to be professional, but, we shoot them some mitzvah that most of us were unionists from university. We were not that many. I doubt if we were up to even 40. But the spirit and the morale and the Alika spirit was very, very high. That they will not stop us until we got to their gates. And thank God that they have officers that are at the top of their affairs that are very, very and highly professional. Highly professional. At first, they were trying to give like some, I won't say normal policemen, but I'll say low-minded policemen. That lawyers have come to our gates and they have brought guns. They want to bubble ecstasy. Like lawyers putting on their rules. We to listen to yourself. Do we look like criminals? And they're not so many things. Some of them are trying to, especially the low key down on it. But when the officers, the real people that were for the real EFCC officers, not the detectives now, when they came out, I believe those ones are more educated and more refined and well trained. When they came out, it just only told me lawyers that, see, guys, okay, we know there's something going on. The deputy, I think the deputy commandant or something, the deputy director or something would like to see at least the person leading. And thank God for our amiable chairman, he, the vice chairman, and some other principal member, they went in discuss it. The Oga at CFCC Ghana, and they had a fruitful discussion. When they came out, they all stood together at the gates and they addressed with lawyers. Outside, there were no issues except all these, all these rank and file guys, this no whatever, trying to make trouble, don't stand there, don't sit there. In the presence of a process, such things are very, very wrong. Now, let me say this: if you are arrested at a protest ground, you have the right to a counsel. Your right is being encouraged. You have the right to sue the police. But first and foremost, it's a billable offense. If they are charging you or they are citing you for rioting, it's actually a billable offense. Get a lawyer. Once you are billed, of course, you know what to do. Get a lawyer to sue the police and also add the police service commission so that it should be paid damages. Supreme Court has given us, the right now to do as a law when it comes to the police. So that's just it.
Okay. When someone who has been arrested, whether it is protest wrongly arrested or that you've been in custody wrongly, what do you do? Because sometimes we've heard of this stuff where we are not giving a lawyer, you are not giving access to a lawyer. What do you suggest such person should do?
This comedy.
So let me give you a practical example. Someone who is arrested. Maybe let's use the example where we finished from luck. You went for a protest, they rounded you up at the police station. You say, "Oh, I've heard it before." Then say, "I've heard myself." We say, "I have a right to a lawyer." You tell the police, "I have a right to a lawyer," and they tell you, "You are just talking English. We will not give you. There's nothing like that here." Okay. What are the steps? Can you maybe give us maybe 2-3 steps for such a person to do? I'm saying, for the benefit of someone that, they might say, "Oh, I'm a good person. I have never done anything for," but in the future might get
Okay.
ahead and they will have access to it.
The reality of things is, once anyone is arrested, the first thing you do is at least you must have someone you can call and also set the person to get a lawyer for you. That's basically, it's not right when the person is in detention, that's when you get a lawyer. But if you have a lawyer or you have a lawyer before someone is arrested, I think that's the first person to call. And if your lawyer can't come down, the best is to, after the lawyer, to send another lawyer to come down and the person will be briefed of the case. That's the way it's done. But if you don't have a lawyer, at least nobody came down from heaven now, basically. So basically, you must have a relation you can talk to, and you can tell the relation to at least get you a lawyer. And it's such a relation don't actually have a lawyer. That's the reason why we have SATA Legal, and give a call to us, and we'll be able to help you the best way we can. If not, a lot of other options where you can get lawyers for free. I don't want to mention names, but there are a lot of them where you can get lawyers for free and they will stand in for you and they will ensure that at least you are granted bail.
If the person be pressure to make a statement, to write a speech, what should the person do?
The best bet you can say is to tell the police officer that he's not going to write anything except in the presence of his lawyer. And this is what police officers do. They can tell the lawyer to sit outside. I don't allow that. My client sits beside me, true, right? Why you interrogate him? I'm not going to write for him. You are going to interrogate him in my presence. So you want to ask him any question? Ask him in my presence. Ask him in my presence. And I think that's the standard way it is done everywhere. Police is meant to ask the defendant, the alleged suspect, questions in the presence of his or her lawyer. So it's a constitutional right to be silent until you have your counsel come. See,
Just to round up, any other suggestion? Maybe there's something we've not asked that you just want to mention.
in recent times, something came out, and it's about police brutality. I think somewhere in the State, I'm not sure now. into an internet that someone was arrested. He was owing someone the sum of what I think it was Kwara State. He was arrested for 220,000 naira. And when he was arrested, he was taken to the police station. And when he was taken to the police station, the mom, who was a trader, came and said, "Hey, release my son. I have 180,000 to give to the complainant." They said, "No, we have instructions not to release him." Minutes later, the accused sister came and said, "See, I just got a job 350K. I will give you your 220. Let him be on his way home." They said, "No, he has to sleep there." And they were like, "Why should he sleep there? What you want is the settlement of the case." Remember what I said? The police does not have the right to even intermeddle into civil matters. Or do you know what happened? They stayed there till night and they were not going to release him. They didn't tell us how many inmates they have, but their own family member, this guy was there. And I think they said it was, is it 5'7" or 5'8"? I don't remember the height. When it was 2 a.m., the sister said he started getting calls from a lawyer from the police station that come and carry your brother, or come and carry your brother. And I said, "Why should I come and carry my brother around 2 a.m.? Who does that?" When the day breaks very well, I'm going to be there with you guys. All right. Then he tried calling back to even, then they said if the line was not going. By the time they got to the police station very early in the morning, around 7, they asked for his brother, but they saw that where they locked the brother, there were blood stains on the place. And they were like, "What's going on here? Where is our brother?" They said their brother hanged himself and died. And they've taken him to a mortuary. They were like, "Someone died. You didn't even call the pharmacist and he's dead. We just took him and take him to the mortuary." I think I got this thing from VDM or stores. I think I heard it from him. So by the time they saw the dead body of the said defendant that was alive the day before, fully held, who was going about his job, they saw that he has been opened up and sold back. And as a result, they started asking questions because they were helpless. There was nothing they could do. However, I think they now went to mix with this. I also have to say this, that if you're having a case in police station, first thing first is always get a lawyer. Always get a lawyer, because this family, I think they never involved a lawyer. No lawyer came for him. Now he's dead. There's nothing the dead can do. He cannot give us how he died. It's only the stories that, oh, he hanged himself. And from the way they said it, the guy is a tall person. There is no way he could have hanged himself. And just like every other prison and every other detention, there is no way you will put something to hang himself. How did he now die? They are still looking for answers. And since you are dealing with the police is using everything they have to ensure that something about this case is covered, which is actually wrong. When you have a lawyer, your lawyer knows the appropriate place to do. Your lawyer knows the appropriate place to go in such instances. That there was his client that was meant to sleep over, died overnight. I'm sure that station, everyone will be recalled to Abuja. Let me put that as equation 1. Equation 2 is this. Some weeks ago, a friend of mine called me and he said they caught a thief in their house. Basically, the house has been deserted for some months, it's like 6 to 7 months. And as a result, there's been a guy who has been jumping into the house, living in the house, shitting all around. In fact, he has sold virtually everything in the house. So I think he sold something and someone got to know and called them. And they got there the next day. That is after months that he has been leaving the house. And when they got there, they were like, they just felt that there was someone in that house. And they said, let them check the ceiling. Lo and behold, they saw him in the ceiling. They brought him down. Of course, now, when you see a thief, you deal with the thief. He was beaten black and blue. Not that blood was somebody, was actually, well dealt with. And he was taken to the police station. To their surprise, the police station did not what? They did not accept him. They said he should go and get first aid treatment. They took him to the hospital. He was treated. He was certified okay. Still, they took him to the police station. I'm saying this in case This comes to the notice of the newly appointed CP of Oyo State because they are still going to write a letter, a petition against that police station. Still, he was not arrested. And the question is, why will the police be selective in arresting someone who was caught at the scene of the crime? Why would the police refuse to perform their statutory duty of arresting someone that was at the scene of the crime? Later, we got to know some familiarity between the police and the boy's family. That is wrong. But we are so happy that it was not even the police that actually arrested him. Who knows? Maybe if he had been arrested, after we, the complainants, have left, they would have released him. I've said that to say this, that whenever the police refuses to take anyone you caught at the scene of crime, please, there are also other law enforcement agents that you can actually report to, such as the NSCDC. I'm sure they are going to take up your case over there too. Kudos to the police, but thank God at least that there is also other agencies that are started with the statutory duty to arrest, make arrests. You get it? So that's just it.